G'day there, this is Holy Critic signing in, and I'm going to skip the pleasantries today because, well, I'm totally exhausted. I set myself a mammoth task this week to watch and review Stephen King's 1991 sci-fi thriller Golden Years, and let's just say it was no easy feat. It clocks in at around 6 hours in length, so between work and sleep, all I did was binge. Such is the life of a critic, I suppose. But, I didn't regret it one bit. It might be long, but it's well worth the ride it takes you on. Even if you do have to take 2 or 3 trips to the bathroom along the way. So, if you're like me, you've probably never seen or heard of it before, and that's for good reason. It was a short-lived TV miniseries created by Stephen King that was originally intended to lead into a regular show. This, unfortunately, never happened because the ratings were considered poor and it was eventually canned by CBS. Golden Years aired in 7 parts, which I've carefully stitched together for Wednesday's presentation, but it follows the journey of an elderly janitor named Harlan Williams. There's nothing particularly extraordinary about him except for the top-secret research facility he works at. While Harlan struggles to remember the combination to his locker, mad scientists work feverishly on the cure to old age. Of course, as you'd expect, the laboratory is woefully equipped to deal with a meltdown, and that's exactly what happens. Harlan gets exposed to an experimental chemical which causes the cells in his body to regenerate. It's the stuff of every superhero origin story, if you consider Benjamin Button to be a superhero. Either way, once word gets out, he's pursued by a shady government organisation known as the Shop. They send out an operative to capture Harlan dead or alive. This game of cat and mouse becomes the central axis of the plot. Harlan's unwavering wife Gina joins him as a fugitive on their cross-country run from the law. Each episode ends on a cliffhanger which keeps your interest levels high throughout. However, this may have hurt more than helped back in the days when people had to wait a week between viewings. We're just lucky to have the luxury of being able to watch them all back to back. Golden Years has a plentiful assortment of thrills, humour and engaging characters to bolster the rather generic story. Stephen King's greatest strengths and weaknesses are on full display here. He spends far too much time building towards predictable conclusions instead of focusing on a cohesive narrative. The ending left a lot to be desired, but I don't think Stephen should receive all the blame for that. The series was driven into obscurity not because it was worse than any of his others, the Tommyknockers and Langoliers share that honour, but rather the incomplete state in which it remains. However, even with all these quirks and flaws, I still found it to be a thoroughly entertaining time capsule, which I think has earned a final rating of 3 halos out of 5. There are good performances all round, and I loved King's comedic commentary on society's obsession with aging backwards. Plus, David Bowie's disco hit makes for a great theme song in my opinion. It'll be free to watch from tomorrow onwards, but my advice would be to break it up into hourly blocks if you can't spare a day to see it in one sitting. Also, tell me in the comments below whether you're a Stephen King aficionado. Did you see Golden Years when it first aired? I'd love to know, but for now, this is Holy Critic, signing out.